Hello, Blood Bowl fans. Welcome to Cablevision HD. I am ComplacentBadger, and this
Is Gimpy.
and we are here. It is week 6.
Yeah. First game of the week is your game.
Yes, we played very quickly. I was itching to get a game because I didn't get one for week 5. The out of the coffin team, the coach had to go back into the coffin, so we will no longer be seeing that, and we will have buys for the remainder of the season for that team.
Very appropriately, my bye week comes in the last week of the season when it doesn't help, so.
Yep, so great. That's not amazing for you, but you'll see that I now have 3 Mighty Blow Dwarves.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
And worse for a team of rats who depend on being able to dodge away from things. So in addition to having low AV, they can't dodge away from you because of tackle.
Yes, so the benefit here is that not only are they going to have a hard time getting away from me, that with at least a fourth of my team... Riot. Bummer. But at least with a fourth of my team, I have now odds to penetrate a majority of his team.
Yeah, this is the worst kind of day for him.
Yes. But he did set up to capitalize on my 3-man line because I am more afraid of the gutter runners. And look, immediately a KO on me from that mighty blow. But what did I do? I gambled. I was like, you know what? I don't see another pen come in against me for the rest of the game. I'm not losing my mighty blow this early in the drive.
It's a very bold choice. I would say, generally speaking, I would recommend against it.
It's probably...
We'll see if it pays off, but using it so early is a huge risk.
Probably the worst, on textbook, on paper, probably the worst decision I could have made. But, you know, we'll as we always say, sometimes a bad decision can go well with appropriate rolls.
Yeah.
So
still keeping those gutter runners in the back. He didn't even try to penetrate the backfield with it.
Nope.
So.
And for whatever reason, picked it up with the thrower and then just immediately gives it to the gutter runner. I still don't understand the point of having it in the gutter runner's hand early. If you're into having the gutter runners down here, just cage the thrower. All right. So now I am pushing to try to gain as many yards as I can with these stubby legs. Trying to get that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess points to him. He does have some penetration here because he used all of his other players to do it.
Yeah.
So those are eligible receivers. At least one can make it without go for it, I believe. And now we're starting to see those pens.
Yeah, trying to get rid of these players. They are bothering me.
Yeah. And again, yours is the team that will throw one dice with Reckless Abandon because you have all the skills that no one else does.
Yeah. So the big deal was I wasn't terribly worried about covering every one of these because I was trying to do as best I can to screen the ability to do a short pass or handoff. I wanted that pass attempt, especially because he just refuses to use the thrower. I wanted it to be a hard sell. I did double coverage on the one that could get a 1-turn touchdown. And then this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's 2 go for it's like I think I remember. So that would have been a tough prospect. So I was like, oh, I have time. You know, I can hurt more. I can stop whatever he cages. And so he's now midfield. And the cage is basically made out of gutter runners and a lineman. He's got that one storm vermin that I don't like, but whatever.
Yeah. Still in great shape here. He is setting up receivers, but again, it points to you for making the adjustment. You have your receiver set up, and that's something we've been harping on this whole season. So I do actually appreciate it. It seems like you are making those adjustments.
I'd make that gutter runner so it's a threat.
Exactly. Make it a gutter runner, and you have that AG4, and now you've got a brand new issue that he has to deal with. And now you've got another gutter runner who's worried about, and that's also a receiver. Not a good receiver, but you technically have a receiver.
And so I'm setting up down here, 1, to hurt a gutter runner, and 2, just in case. I have player advantage, so I am trying to set up just in case for a crazy dwarven long bomb.
Yeah, there's no reason for you not to.
Yeah, and I'm really, really banking on my Mighty Blow doing work to get a further player advantage. So I feel like right now I really have the lanes blocked sufficiently. Every player.
This is terrifying.
Yeah. So he's 1 die. There's his reroll for the turn. I'm okay with that. All right. The lane's still not great, and there we go.
Yep. You know, if he had made it through there with a successful dodge, you know, it probably would have been tougher for you to get there.
Yeah.
Because you would have to dodge out. So, I mean, I think it's a very worthwhile risk they took, getting that 1 die, trying that dodge out. It just didn't work out for him. But, I mean, I think that was the right play for him.
No, that was 100% the best play, and that's something that you're going to see in this game is that Ice Cream Animal does brilliant plays in here. There goes my 2 die. Basically, I have to roll it every game, which is double attacker down, reroll double attacker down.
Yeah. Only thing I wish you had done prior to throwing that is maybe move number 6 forward to engage that guy who just threw a block.
I'm pretty sure that the only reason I didn't do that was because he was supposed to, if I remember correctly, he was supposed to be like a major blitzer, but I needed to get other players in position to do it. That was really the only thing, and I had no reason to believe that I was going to fail 2 die, a 2 die with a reroll. Because I think I was going to put him down with this, bring this player up for a 2 die on this Storm Vermin with Mighty Blow. I was trying to get that Mighty Blow Storm Vermin out of there with my Mighty Blow.
Alright, so now you're in real rough shape here.
Yes.
But I think 1 die on that lineman frees up enough for you to go for it.
And if I recall correctly, that's basically the plan. Just got to get the free stuff out of the way now.
Oh, or you can get a 2 die on that lineman to free up the guy.
Yeah.
Good call.
Get him out of the way, and then this is an easy blitz for me.
Yeah.
And a pen for the trouble.
The nice thing is, even if somehow this doesn't go according to plan and he still scores, you're still in great shape for the second half because of all those pens. Presumably, not all those guys are coming back.
Yep, and that gutter runner doesn't have block, so that was almost a guaranteed drop. And we'll clamber our way to holding that ball. Not grabbing it, by the way, people.
Look at it being marked. Look how happy it looks marked.
Because my odds of getting a touchdown this drive are pretty slim, but I can hurt players.
Yep, and there's more of that player advantage.
Yep. So pretty common trend that I'm getting a lot of KOs, but unfortunately those SPPs not flowing, as we've seen. But luckily this time it's KOs and not stun, so can't complain that much.
Yeah, and again, it's in his favor to bring those guys back, but if you drop 4 or 5 of those guys, then realistically at least 1 or 2 should be out.
Yeah, and honestly I think that was the only move, and of course gutter runner bullshit, it happens. He scored the touchdown. That was good on him. He did an amazing job there.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I would have done.
Nope.
Especially with him with that 1 reroll. I don't know if I would have risked anything else. I would have just done that 1 move, make sure you have the reroll for it, and he needed it. So
it's really the reason why I hate Skaven teams, and I hate them more than any team in the league or in any team in Blood Bowl, is because the team has nothing going for it except the gutter runners, and the gutter runners basically are an auto win a lot of the time. Like for that instance, there's basically no other player in Blood Bowl that could get up from the ground, dodge into a tackle zone that has tackle, grab the ball, then dodge out twice, and still have enough movement allowance to get to the end zone. It's just...
yeah.
There's nothing you could do against that. It's sometimes, as long as the dice go, 3 or higher for the whole thing, there's not a lot you could do.
Yeah.
But he's using his players to their ultimate advantage, so no shade.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing it right, and that always makes you feel a little bit better when it's like, Well, it's not like he's just doing dumb moves and they're working out. He's playing it
Yes.
well, and
I mean,
then
and
it's
that's
working out.
and that's the problem I have with Skaven teams is because they're kind of built to just do, rely on one positional to do all of the heavy lifting of the team, and it doesn't really matter what your opponent is doing much. You just go for the ball every time with a gutter runner and then see what happens. So, it looks like it was a KO and a stun. We are bringing that news. This tendency for the Skaven to kind of like pack in is really working for me.
Yeah. It's like, I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, just keep them all close. I don't even need guard for this. They're all strength too.
We did see him actually cover a wing, though.
A little bit, yeah.
That left wing was covered. Not the right wing, but the left wing was covered.
Look at that guy. Where's he going? It's gonna get hit. That's where he's going. Look at him getting the 2-die with that Storm Vermin. And then, lucky for me, is a push.
And even better, he followed up.
Yes, way better. Tackle working.
I wonder if there's a 2-die in his future.
Yes. I don't like him very much. Just getting all these free moves. Everybody just running around. The thing I'm worried about is these gutter runners coming over and trying to touch my ball. I don't want that at all. So we're going to try it again. And it's a KO.
Another KO.
Just got to stack them up. A couple of them came back. Some of my KOs are back up to 4. Storm Vermin with block. Dirty rat.
Yeah, you push him.
Mm-hmm.
Like back at the schoolyard.
And another block.
Do you have anyone right now who can technically score?
No.
And I'll say it to you because we say it to every other team, but you've got 2 turns. I mean, is it a good chance? No, but at least give yourself that chance. Would be the only thing I would do here.
The deal, and the only reason that I am adamantly against it with my team is that it would take me a lot of go-for-its just to get into position for a gutter runner just to stand next to me and ruin all those chances, and then have to do more go-for-its afterwards. Like, the odds of me getting a touchdown here, and I was confident why I waited last to try to pick it up. I was confident I was not going to get the ball in hand, and without it in hand, I can't get enough range to even throw the ball. It's the difference of a movement allowance 4 team versus a movement allowance 6 team, which most teams are movement allowance 6 or higher. They have those options available to them. Because remember, I set up receivers at the beginning of my drive.
You did, yeah. And honestly, I thought that was effective. You managed to take a gutter runner out of the play for the most part, and those guys didn't really stay out of the play.
Yeah. Because with how close it's going into it, I think he's trying, at least in me trying to play the what is the opponent thinking. He's more focused on him scoring than stopping me from scoring.
Yeah, and for a lot of agility teams, that's very much the case.
So me, I'm doing everything I can to keep him from having an obvious touchdown. And there it goes. No touchdown for you, sir.
I think that does officially take him out of the move. Oh, never mind. Well, it doesn't matter then.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I think that takes him out of the move allowance. Might be close. And then it's done. Well, then it definitely does.
And lay surf.
And dead.
Yes.
Nice. Is he gonna? Yep. There's the apothecary.
Dead to
Still dead.
Yep.
We have had probably more double deads this season than I have seen in probably any league.
Yeah, it's been pretty common. Another KO.
Is it the 4th double dead this season?
I think so. Something like that. So he did claim that I owe him a cheese pun, so I gave him Jamie Lee Curtis.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right. So setting up, He didn't have all of his KOs come back, but a majority of them came back. He did get so interesting. It doesn't show when we were setting up here, but he did use his own money because I had a lower team value than he did. He used his own money to get one Bloodwiser Babe, which gave me enough inducements to get an extra team reroll.
Oh man. Well, now I mean I understand the idea behind it. KOs were likely to be common. That's definitely coming into play this game.
Yeah, it just so happened that this was a KO game, so that weird, what I thought was a very weird purchase, turned out to be everything for him.
Yeah. I don't know, and I haven't been watching the. I might go back later and check the KO rolls on this. Let's see. How many of those did that matter for, though?
Well, it looks like none of them, at least for this one.
Yeah. So, I mean, now that's looking like it wasn't a great pickup.
Yeah. So that was an injury on a lineman. My Mighty Blows doing their job, trying to build towards that guard.
Yeah. This is really going to be good for you. Having a huge player advantage. You already had a 3-player advantage starting the half, so.
Yeah, and my next game, my final game, another injury, stack 'em, is against the Steelers, so an orc team that's gonna probably outpunch me. They still don't have the skills, and hopefully this week they won't gain a lot of skills, so hopefully I have that to my advantage, but trying to get as many guard players now, prepare for that team.
Yeah.
Because again, don't actually care if I win or not, because it's all about building for this season.
Yeah, it looks like he might be just trying to let you score and then hope that he can get enough KOs back to get the next score in.
Yeah, at this point he made it known that he was very frustrated with the injury rolls the way they were going. So I think this was him, all he was thinking about was stop hitting me.
Yeah.
And I was happy to let him give me the ground so that I could later punch him, because you can run away, but eventually that the field is going to end.
Yeah, there's only so much pitch.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can understand frustration. I've definitely been there, where it feels like every roll is against you. But that said, Mighty Blow on an AV-17, man, this is about what it looks like.
Yeah.
If anything, be happy they're KOs.
Yeah, other than the one death that I didn't even get SPP for, he has had no permanent injuries. You know, silver lining, I guess. Like, I know it's not great to have your team down, but you're a Skaven team. Skaven team at halftime and beyond do not have a full roster. It does not happen. And if it did happen, it was because something went really well or really bad.
Yeah, this is about what you would expect this to look like. So I understand the frustration. I have been there. I am not doing this.
No, and now my eyes are shining and bright because he has just packed those rats in. That was everything that I wanted.
Yeah. And now we just send the Mighty Blow downfield.
So just getting all these free moves, tighten that noose. Not terribly worried about getting the hits in this turn because I know I'll have plenty of turns to get the big hits in once I get set up and keep him from being able to get away from me.
Yep. Look at those stubby little legs move.
They're trying.
And here comes the blitz. Oh, on the movement one too.
Yeah, that's the one that I want to hit because it's either wrestle, block, or movement allowance. Yeah. So movement allowance is my target every single time I have a choice. All right, so tightening this noose, and probably a bad move. But yep. I know I have my 12th player, and you know, I know this team is not called the Beardy Dozen, but I do run 12 Longbeards, so I know I have another guy off the pitch ready. So it was a risk I was willing to take. Something that I did not recall, though, that was one of my Mighty Blow players, so that was a dumb move.
Yeah, probably should have done with the other one.
He'd already moved, so couldn't have, but yeah. Was it necessary? It was his kick player. I was like, okay, if you're not going to stand him up, I'm going to abuse him. Because that's one of the things obviously there's nothing wrong with it. You can do whatever you want. It's, there's no rules against it. But one of my pet peeves is just keeping players on like the center of the pitch, just on the ground, just to avoid getting hit.
Yeah.
It's a personal thing. It has nothing to do with coaches or anything. It's not even a bad strategy. But it will coax me to foul you. If you don't want to play the game, I'll remove you from the pitch either way.
Yeah. Honestly, in that case, I might have done the same thing. Because to me, what I'm seeing is you keeping a Mighty Blow player away from the rest of my team getting beat up.
Yeah, and I don't know if he knew that about me. I don't think he did, but yeah, if you keep a player down, I will probably foul you.
Yeah. I mean, in his defense, yeah, I think I would have also kept that player down because, yeah, I'll let you leave that Mighty Bow player away from the rest of the punching. And if you want to risk a foul on it and risk him getting thrown out, I'm cool with that. On the other hand, if that was one that didn't have skills, I probably would have stood that guy up and tried to get him out of there eventually.
Yeah. So, tough dodge. He still went for it. He is playing the game, which I will give total props to, that he's actually trying to get the ball away instead of fleeing now. So,
yeah.
Mad props for that. Because this is not an ideal drive for the Skaven.
This is, however, an ideal drive for the Dwarves.
Yeah, this is exactly what you want as a Dwarves. You have one guy that's busy moving the ball very steadily, and the rest of the team is just abusing players. I have learned my lesson from the foul. I have reduced my blood fervor, so I am not fouling. I am just setting up to basically cage his players to keep them from playing. And he immediately ends his turn.
Yeah, he had, I guess, no drive to get up and try to go for that blitz.
Yep. It's one of those things, again, I don't like it, but at the end of the day, like, there's no reasonable argument to tell a coach, stand up your players so I can beat the crap out of them, so...
Yeah.
He's
maximizing the potential players he has for this drive.
Yes.
With 3 turns. That's plenty of time for him to score. If there's ever a time, though, where I'm putting those gutter runners farther up, it's now. And
a lot of coaches probably look at that situation and be like, okay, if he's not going to play, then why don't you just stand on the sideline and wait out the clock? And I'm like, yeah, probably to return this kind of, like, minor lack of sportsmanship play of not trying to play the game, I could have returned it but, I'm not going to do that. That's not my thing. I may delay 1 turn here and there if it's a go for it or if I don't have really good standing. But with that drive, it was such a textbook drive and really good and really in my favor. I just didn't feel the need to rub it in anymore.
Yeah, for the most part, this is a league where you won't see that very often.
Yeah.
Well, for the most part, we tend to score relatively quickly. The exceptions being if you see a playoff game or a championship game, you'll almost certainly see something close to it. Especially against particular teams like this one.
Yes.
But for the average game for us, it's exceedingly rare not to see someone just score. Because, I mean, this is still a fun league. But if you look at, I guess, I don't know if there's an actual professional league for Blood Bowl, but if you look at like the big streamers and the big players for Blood Bowl, you'll see 2-to-1s because they're doing that exact thing.
Yeah, they play really boring Blood Bowl just because, there's money involved. I get it. You play super boring Blood Bowl. These are the kind of people that will set up, at the last turn with every player on their end zone. And that's just not Blood Bowl I want to play. So, right here, the Snake Eyes. It happens to, I think, just about everybody in every game. It happened to me, double attacker down twice in a row. But, so, you have to plan for shit like that. And that's why you have guys as receivers down pitch, or you try to work towards receivers, because having that double 1 when you're picking up is not as bad if you already have some yardage for potential receivers.
Yeah. Right now, he needs to use up almost all of his speed, all of his movement allowance to get downfield and get an actual touchdown.
Yes. So I just put myself down with, I think, another 2 double attacker downs. Yeah, it was another double attacker down.
Yeah.
So, you know, the double ones were immediately responded with another double attacker down. So, rolls go bad. It happens.
Yeah. I had one last week. That was the difference between a 2-0 game and a 1-0 game.
Yes.
A game that probably could have gone 0-0 if the dice had gone a different way. So
Exactly.
and he is not giving himself a chance to win.
No. Again, I think he's quite sore from the hits. So I don't think he's thinking about scoring.
Yeah, and that's always unfortunate. I can't fault you on that. I've talked about it time and time again where, you know, I've been there, man. It's frustrating to feel like all the dice are against you, even when, you know, the pen rolls here are probably what they should be with that much mighty blow and with that low of an AV. But I get it. Like, it's frustrating.
Well, and here's where the asshole coach. So we have our loss of strength on a lineman. At least it was a lineman, but that's still bad. But here's where the asshole coach portion of me comes out, dude. I've played Goblin for about 4 seasons in various leagues. You will get no sympathy from me when it comes to players getting injured, rolls going south, and still playing to your utmost potential. I've done a lot of stuff that people thought were insane just because I had 2 players left on the pitch and was still able to contribute to the drive. So the only thing I can give you is if you're going to play Blood Bowl, you have to accept the bad drives with the good drives and just keep playing.
So 21 armor pens, that's pretty good.
Yes. Alright, so looking at the dice, well leveled in 3+ range with a high amount of 6s. Now granted, a lot of that probably fell in armor, which is super unfortunate about him, but his injury rolls almost were exclusively KOs, so I think that's where a lot of those 3s might have been. So it could have been a lot worse than it was. It wasn't great, but it could have been a lot worse. Keep in mind I have Mighty Blow, so a 40% pen rate, or rather a 60% pen rate is about right.
Yeah. He did actually have quite a few casualties. That percentage might be a little high.
Let's look at let's look at my block. Actually, statistics. 40 blocks succeeded. Yeah, it might be a bit high. But there's always the argument of, dice leveling out. I mean, I've had games where I had 69+ blocks succeeded in 1 casualty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, and it's definitely frustrating for him. For the most part, I think he played a pretty good game, except for that, lack of receiver thing, and I'm going to hit that every week. It's part of my weekly chant now.
I think the biggest deal was, especially against a team like mine with the very low movement allowance, if you bunch up like that, I think that was half his problem.
Yeah. He made it easy for you to do your job. Like, you didn't have to move anywhere.
All he had to do is spread his guys out, and I have to do 1-dies against everybody, which is a lot harder for me to pull off. Now, it's not impossible, and that also allows you more chances to dodge away without having huge modifiers. It gives you flexibility and to outmaneuver me. But if you keep doing the same setup against every team, 1, a bad setup, but 2, the same setup without looking at the opponent that you're playing, you're playing directly into some coach's strategy.
Yeah. I mean, you've noticed that we talk about tendencies that, like, Jester has or Master Moose has. At least 2 of us in this league, at least half of us, realistic, because Master Moose does it as well. But we pay attention to your tendencies as a coach. And when we look at the same stuff happen every time, I may not take an hour to build a whole strategy around it, but don't think I'm not thinking about it when I see that game.
Yeah.
How am I gonna adjust for this? What do I do to affect how you play to put my odds in the best way? We talked about that against Jester's team is probably the best example of that. We know he's an aggressive coach. We know he's always going to try to pick up the ball. We know he's going to throw a lot of hits, regardless of his team. It does not matter what his team is. Those three things are certain.
Yes.
So we make those adjustments. We saw Mazrak didn't quite make those adjustments when he played against the Amazons and had a little more struggle than I did when I played against the Amazons because we adjusted differently.
Yeah, and I just couldn't hurt the Amazons.
And
I just couldn't hurt the Amazons. But yeah,
you couldn't even hurt the Amazons. One of many teams that you just couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
But you could this game, so.
Yes. So I will say that I've probably come off a little bit brutal, but keep in mind, 99% of that vitriol is aimed at a Skaven team. I hate Skaven teams. I don't think they belong in Blood Bowl. And I've probably complained about this many times. I hate every aspect of a Skaven team. So if you play a Skaven team, sorry, I have my own prejudices. I am going to be extra brutal to that team because I don't want that team to play anymore. Now, can a Skaven team still beat the living tar out of me and win almost every game? Yes, I lose to Skaven all the time. So, far be it from me to stop you from playing Skaven. But don't expect any pulled punches when you line up a Skaven team against me. Ask Master Moose.
It's... I mean, fuck agility teams. They're the worst.
Again, all the other ones I can deal with because they have a play style that I understand and I see as something that is worthwhile to the game of Blood Bowl.
Nope, I hate elves too.
I'm
going to say it.
And that's totally fine. I have rough prejudices as well. But when I look at a Skaven team, I see no skill, I see scamming. Now, it doesn't mean that the coach can't be extraordinarily skilled, but when it comes to the team build as a roster, Skaven are scammers, not skill.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ice Cream Animal, you played a great game despite everything that happened. You probably, with a couple rolls gone differently, could have made this a 2-0 game easily.
Yeah, and again, if it seems like we're tough on you, it's because we know that you're a great coach.
Yes.
So when we see little mistakes that are easily fixed, like that initial setup and that bunching, that doesn't take any effort to change. So those are the things that we want to see go away, because that's the difference right now of you being. This could have been a 2-0 game or a 2-1 game in your favor with those little adjustments of putting those receivers downfield, not punching.
Yeah, because you can always say that the snake eyes prevented it from being a 2-0 game, but how many more chances would you have gotten at scoring a touchdown had you shored up your baseline play? You never know.
Yeah.
All right, but I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, we'll see you next time.